Hello, my dear. Somewhere between the moment you woke up and this moment right now, something shifted. Maybe you felt it as a small coincidence you almost dismissed. A green light when you expected to stop. A stranger who held a door a second longer than they needed to. A song that arrived at the exact second you needed to hear it. You told yourself it was nothing, but some part of you, quieter than your thoughts and older than your doubts, noticed. And that part of you is the reason you are here now, listening to these words. There is a reason this found you today, not by accident and not by chance, but because you are standing at the edge of a shift you have not yet given yourself full permission to feel. You have been waiting for something to change on the outside before you let yourself feel different on the inside. And today, gently, that order is going to reverse. You are allowed to feel chosen, not because you have done everything right, not because you have earned it through struggle, but simply because you exist, and existence itself has never required proof of worthiness. You were born already whole. Every doubt you have carried since then was learned, and everything learned can be unlearned. This is not a small thing. This is the beginning of everything else. For a long time, you may have believed that luck was something that happened to other people, that some are simply born under a fortunate sign, while others must fight for every inch of ease. But luck is not a birthright handed out unevenly. Luck is a frequency. It is a quiet, steady expectation that lives inside a person long before it shows up in their circumstances. And frequencies can be tuned. What you are about to learn is not a technique. It is a remembering. Let yourself settle now, wherever you are. Let your shoulders soften, even slightly. Let your breath find its own rhythm without you managing it. You do not have to do anything right in this moment. You only have to receive. Because what is coming is not information for your mind to analyze. It is a permission your heart has been waiting to hear. Picture, if you will, a wide open field at first light. The grass is damp with dew, and the air carries that particular stillness that exists only in the minutes before the world fully wakes. In the distance, the sky is beginning to soften from deep blue into gold. This field is yours. It always has been. It represents the space inside you where new possibilities are allowed to take root long before they are visible anywhere else. Notice that nothing in this field is rushing. The sun does not force its way into the sky. It rises exactly when it is ready, and the field trusts that rising completely. There is no anxiety in a sunrise. There is only quiet, inevitable arrival. This is what your good is doing right now, even in the parts of your life that still look unchanged. It is rising. You simply have not seen the color shift yet. I am safe. I am supported. I am allowed to expect good things. Say those words again slowly, and notice which one felt the hardest to believe. That is not a flaw in you. That is simply the exact place where the old story has been holding on the tightest. And now that you have noticed it, it has already begun to loosen its grip. Here is the hidden truth many people go their whole lives without discovering. Your outer world is not the cause of your inner state. It is the reflection of it. Circumstances do not create your expectations. Your expectations, repeated long enough, quietly begin to shape your circumstances. This is not magical thinking. It is simply how attention works. What you expect, you look for. What you look for, you find, and what you find, you begin to call reality, even though you were the one holding the lens the entire time. Think about a moment in your life when you were absolutely certain something would go wrong, and it did. Now think about a time when you were just as certain something would work out, and somehow it did too. You were not being clairvoyant in either moment. You were simply so aligned with an expectation that your mind, your choices, and your attention quietly arranged themselves to match it. This is the mechanism beneath luck, not superstition, alignment. And here is where so many people remain stuck, not because they are lazy or unworthy, but because no one ever told them this simple truth. They keep trying to change their results while leaving their expectations exactly where they were. They rearrange the furniture of their life while the foundation, the quiet belief about what they deserve and what is possible for them, stays untouched. You are not going to make that mistake today. Today you are going to the foundation. Let the visualization deepen. In your field of golden morning light, imagine a single open door standing at the far edge where the field meets a soft tree line. This door is not locked. It never was. It has been open this entire time, waiting patiently for you to walk toward it, instead of standing at a distance, wondering if it was meant for you. Walk toward that door now, in your mind. With every step, feel the old, tired belief that good things are reserved for other people beginning to fall away, like a coat you no longer need in this warmer season of your life. You do not have to force this feeling. You only have to allow it, the way you would allow warm water over tired hands. I release the belief that I must struggle to deserve good things. I welcome ease. I welcome unexpected blessings. I am becoming someone who good things naturally move toward. There was once a person who spent years believing that opportunity simply skipped over them. They watched others receive promotions, warm connections, unexpected gifts of timing, and quietly concluded that they were somehow exempt from that kind of favor. It was not until they were lying awake one night, exhausted from the effort of expecting so little, that a single thought arrived, uninvited and clear. What if I have been asking for so little that the universe simply kept its word? That single thought did not fix everything overnight, but it planted something, slowly. This person began to notice the small things that were already going right, things they had trained themselves to overlook because they did not match the story of being unlucky. A bus arriving just as they reached the stop, a refund appearing without them asking, a friend calling at the exact moment they needed to hear a familiar voice. None of these were proof that the universe had changed. They were proof that it had never stopped offering. The offering had simply been arriving on a frequency this person had not yet learned to receive. This is not a story about one person. It is a mirror. Somewhere in your own life, right now, good is already arriving in small, quiet ways you may have trained yourself to overlook. Not because you are ungrateful, but because you were taught, somewhere along the way, that noticing good things too closely might jinx them, or that expecting more was somehow greedy or naive. You are allowed to release that belief right now. Noticing your good does not diminish it. It multiplies it. I am worthy of good things arriving easily. I trust that my life is cooperating with me, even in ways I cannot yet see. Let yourself imagine, for a moment, a slow-moving river, not rushing toward the sea, not fighting against rocks, simply moving with a steady, patient current that always finds its way forward, even when the path curves in directions it did not expect. Your life has this same intelligence. Even when circumstances curve unexpectedly, there is a current beneath them that continues moving you forward. You do not have to control every bend. You only have to trust the current is real. Many people spend their lives gripping the banks of that river, afraid that if they let go, they will lose their way. But the river was never asking to be controlled. It was asking to be trusted. And the moment you loosen your grip, even slightly, you feel how much energy you have been spending simply holding on to fear disguised as caution. I release the need to control every outcome. I trust the current of my life. I am safe to let go. Notice how your breath has changed since you began listening. It has likely slowed, deepened, found a rhythm closer to rest than to alertness. This is not incidental. Your body is a faithful mirror of your beliefs, and as your beliefs begin to soften around what you deserve, your body softens too. This is what healing actually feels like most of the time. Not dramatic quiet, almost imperceptible, until one day you realize the old tension simply is not there anymore. Let us go deeper into the shift now. There is a specific kind of thought pattern that keeps people locked into what feels like bad luck, and it is rarely dramatic. It is subtle. It sounds like, "Of course that happened to me," or "That's just my luck," or "Good things never last for people like me." These phrases feel harmless, even humorous sometimes, but every time they are spoken or thought, they act as a small, repeated instruction to your own mind about what to expect next. And your mind, being endlessly obedient, goes looking for evidence to prove you right. Today, you are going to begin catching those phrases gently, without shame, and replacing them with something new. Not because you are pretending everything is perfect, but because you are finally giving your mind a new instruction to follow. Every time an old phrase arises, you can simply meet it with a quieter, steadier truth. Good things are becoming natural for me. I am the kind of person things work out for. I trust that my timing is unfolding perfectly. Picture now a mountain, tall and steady against a clear sky. You are not standing at the base looking up in overwhelm. You are standing partway up, further along than you realized, looking back at how far you have already come. The path behind you is not smooth. It has switchbacks and steep places and moments where the way forward was not obvious. And yet here you are, still climbing, still here. This alone is evidence of a resilience that far predates the doubts you have been carrying. Every difficult season you have moved through has quietly built a kind of trust in you that no easy season ever could. You know, somewhere in your bones, that you can survive hard things. What you are learning now is something gentler and equally important, that you can also receive good things without waiting for them to be balanced out by struggle first. Good does not have to be earned through suffering. It can simply arrive because you are open to it. I am open to receive without struggle. I allow good things to come to me easily. I release the belief that ease means something is wrong. There is an old, quiet fear that many carry without ever naming it, the fear that if life becomes too easy, too good, something will inevitably come to take it away. This fear keeps people bracing, even in beautiful moments, unable to fully exhale into their own good fortune. If this fear feels familiar to you, let it be seen now, without judgment. It was likely trying to protect you once, but you no longer need it standing guard the same way. You are allowed to let good things last. You are allowed to stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. Life is not a ledger that must always balance between suffering and ease. Life is far more generous than that, and far less interested in punishing you for feeling good than your oldest fears have led you to believe. I am allowed to feel good without waiting for something to go wrong. I trust that my good is safe to stay. Let the visualization shift once more. Imagine a garden, tended and alive, with flowers in every stage of blooming. Some are just breaking through the soil. Some are halfway open. Some are in full, radiant bloom. This garden is your life, exactly as it is right now, and every part of it belongs. You do not need every flower to be in full bloom at once to consider your life beautiful. Growth in progress is still growth. A bud is not a failed flower. It is a flower taking its time. Wherever you are in your own unfolding, whatever part of your life still feels like it is just beginning to break through the soil, let yourself trust its timing. Nothing in this garden is behind. Nothing in this garden is late. Everything is blooming according to a rhythm far wiser than urgency. I trust the timing of my life. Nothing about my journey is late. I am exactly where I need to be to grow into what comes next. As we continue, I want you to notice something important. You have not needed to force a single one of these shifts. You have simply needed to be willing to receive them. This is the quiet secret behind every real transformation. It rarely comes from gripping harder. It comes from softening enough to let something new in. Struggle convinces you that you are doing something. Receiving asks you to trust that something is already being done, even without your constant effort. This does not mean you stop taking action in your life. It means the action you take begins to come from a different place. Not from fear of falling behind, not from proving your worth, but from a quiet, steady expectation that your efforts are supported by something larger than your own willpower. Action rooted in trust feels entirely different from action rooted in anxiety, even when, from the outside, it looks the same. I take inspired action from a place of trust, not fear. I am supported in everything I do. Let yourself imagine now an open horizon, stretching further than your eyes can measure. There is no fog obscuring it, no walls blocking the view, just space, endless and clear, representing every possibility that has not yet taken form in your life. This horizon has always been there. You simply could not always see it clearly, because worry has a way of narrowing your vision until only the nearest obstacle is visible. Let your vision widen now. Let yourself remember that your life is not confined to the single problem currently occupying your attention. There is an entire horizon of possibility surrounding that problem, patiently waiting for you to look up. I release tunnel vision. I remember the wide horizon of possibility that surrounds every challenge. I trust there is more available to me than I can currently see. Here is something gentle, but important to understand about luck, expectation, and the way good things move toward a person. It is rarely about grand, dramatic requests. It is about the accumulation of small, consistent shifts in what you allow yourself to notice, believe, and expect. A single sunrise does not change a season, but sunrise after sunrise after sunrise, faithfully repeated, eventually becomes summer. Your practice of expecting good, repeated gently and consistently, is doing the same quiet work. You do not need to believe everything perfectly today. You only need to be willing to lean, just slightly, in the direction of trust more often than you lean toward fear. That small, repeated lean is enough. It has always been enough. Transformation was never about perfection. It was always about direction. I am leaning toward trust. Small, consistent shifts are transforming my life. I do not need to be perfect. I only need to keep leaning toward good. Let us return for a moment to that field of morning light. Notice how much brighter it has become since you began this journey. The sun has risen further now. Colors that were once muted gold are becoming warmer, fuller. This is what has been happening inside you as well, even in these few quiet minutes. Something has been rising. Something has been warming. You may not be able to name exactly what shifted, and that is all right. Not all change announces itself immediately. Some change simply begins quietly and reveals itself later. In a moment, when you suddenly realize you are responding to life differently than you used to. I am changing in ways I do not need to fully understand yet. I trust the quiet shifts happening within me. Consider the people in your life, even briefly, who seem to move through the world with a certain ease, as though good things simply find them. It is tempting to believe they were simply born fortunate, but look closer, and you will often find something else entirely. You will find people who expect to be helped, and so they ask for help easily. People who expect kindness, and so they extend it freely, which invites more of it in return. People who expect opportunities, and so they notice them where others walk right past. Their luck was never separate from their expectation. It was woven from it, one quiet thread at a time. You are capable of weaving that same thread, not by pretending, not by forcing a smile over real feelings, but by gently, repeatedly choosing to expect a little more good than you have allowed yourself to expect before. This is available to you starting now, in this very moment, regardless of what today has looked like so far. I choose to expect good things. I am someone good things happen to. I welcome ease, support, and unexpected blessings into my life. There may be a part of you that wants to ask, but what if I expect good things and they still do not come? This is a fair and honest question, and it deserves a fair and honest answer. Expectation is not a magic guarantee that erases timing, growth, or the natural unfolding of life. What it does is far more powerful and far more sustainable. It changes how you move through the waiting. It changes what you notice along the way. It changes whether you are gripped by fear or held by trust while your good is still on its way to you. And it changes, subtly but surely, the choices you make each day, which quietly shape the path your life takes. Expectation is not about controlling every outcome. It is about choosing your inner posture while life unfolds, and that posture, held consistently, tends to open doors that fear would have kept firmly shut. I release the need for certainty. I choose trust instead of fear while I wait. My posture of trust is opening doors I cannot yet see. Let the visualization deepen once more, gently. Picture yourself walking along a quiet path at dawn, golden light filtering softly through the trees on either side. You are not walking anxiously, checking behind you, hurrying towards some distant finish line. You are walking at a peaceful, steady pace, fully present in each step, trusting that the path continues to unfold exactly as you need it to. Every step you take is supported by ground that does not give way beneath you. This ground represents the quiet, reliable support of life itself, a support that has been there the entire time, whether or not you noticed it. I am supported with every step I take. The ground beneath me is steady. I do not need to rush toward my good because it is already moving toward me. As you continue walking this path in your mind, notice a clearing ahead, bathed in warm, golden sunlight. This clearing represents the version of your life that is currently being prepared for you, even in ways you cannot yet measure. You do not need to force your way into that clearing. You only need to keep walking, trusting, breathing, allowing. The clearing is not going anywhere. It has been waiting for you this entire time, exactly as patiently as the sunrise waits for morning. I am walking toward a life prepared for me. I do not need to force it. I only need to keep walking with trust. Let yourself notice, as this journey continues, how much lighter certain thoughts feel already. Not gone entirely, perhaps, but lighter, softer, less convincing than they were before you began. This is what healing feels like in its early stages. Not a dramatic before and after, but a subtle loosening, moment by moment, breath by breath, until one day the old heaviness simply is not there in the same way anymore. I am healing gently, at exactly the right pace for me. I trust this quiet, steady unfolding. Here is something worth sitting with for a moment. Every single thing you have survived up until now has required a kind of quiet strength that you rarely give yourself credit for. You have adapted to changes you did not choose. You have kept going through seasons that felt uncertain. You have found ways to hope again, even after disappointment tried to convince you not to. This is not evidence of bad luck following you. This is evidence of extraordinary resilience living inside you, patiently waiting to be recognized and finally put to gentler use. That same resilience that carried you through hard seasons is fully capable of carrying you into good ones. It does not need to switch off simply because the terrain is softening. It can rest now a little and let ease take the lead for a while. I honor my resilience. I allow it to rest now, and I let ease take the lead. I am safe to receive good without struggle. Let the golden light in your visualization spread now, filling the entire field, the entire path, the entire horizon, until everything around you is bathed in warmth. This is not light coming from somewhere outside of you. It is light that has always lived within you, simply waiting for enough stillness for you to notice it. You did not need to earn this light. You only needed to stop long enough to see it was already there. I am filled with light that has always been mine. I do not need to earn my own worth. I simply need to remember it. As we move toward the close of this time together, I want you to imagine one more thing. Picture a door, softly lit, standing open just ahead of you. Beyond it, you cannot see exact details, only warmth, only light, only the unmistakable feeling of good things waiting patiently on the other side. You do not need to know exactly what is behind that door to trust that it is good. You only need to keep walking toward it, one soft, steady step at a time. Every affirmation you have spoken today, every image you have allowed yourself to hold, every quiet moment of trust you have chosen instead of fear has moved you closer to that door. You have not been standing still during this time. You have been walking, gently and surely, the entire time. I am walking toward good things, one step at a time. My transformation has already begun. I am supported, I am worthy, and I am ready to receive. Before you return fully to the rest of your day, take one more slow breath. Let it fill you completely, and let it leave you slowly, carrying with it any last trace of the belief that good things are reserved for other people. That belief was never true. It was simply old, and old beliefs, once seen clearly, lose their hold quickly. You are the luckiest version of yourself, not because circumstances have suddenly rearranged themselves around you, but because something inside you has shifted, quietly and surely, toward expecting good instead of bracing for less. That shift is enough to begin changing everything else. It always has been. Carry this feeling with you as you go. Let it sit gently in your chest, a quiet, steady warmth that does not need to announce itself loudly to be real. Good things are already moving toward you. A new chapter is already opening, and you, exactly as you are right now, are more than ready to receive it. There is something else worth understanding before we close, something that often goes unspoken in conversations about expecting good things. It is not simply about waiting passively for favor to arrive. It is about becoming, quietly and steadily, the kind of person good things naturally recognize as their destination. This is not something you force through effort. It happens almost on its own, the more you allow your inner world to soften into trust. A person at peace notices opportunity more easily than a person in constant alarm. A person who feels worthy receives compliments, help, and kindness more easily than a person bracing for rejection. You are not creating luck out of nothing. You are simply clearing the static that has been interfering with a signal that was always being sent your way. Think for a moment about a radio tuned slightly off its station. The music is still playing somewhere in the air, but all you hear is static, because the dial has not quite landed in the right place. This is what fear, doubt, and old beliefs do to your ability to receive good things. The good was never absent. It was simply arriving on a frequency you had not yet tuned into clearly. Every affirmation, every breath, every moment of chosen trust is a small turn of that dial, bringing the signal into clearer focus. I am tuning into the frequency of good. I release the static of fear and doubt. I hear my good clearly now. Let another image rise gently in your mind. A calm morning, mist still resting low over a quiet garden, the kind of stillness that exists only before the rest of the world has fully stirred. In this stillness, nothing needs to be proven. Nothing needs to be rushed. You are allowed to simply exist here for a moment, without accomplishing anything, without fixing anything, without becoming anything other than what you already are. This kind of stillness is not laziness. It is fertile ground. Everything that will eventually grow into visible form first rests quietly here, unseen, gathering strength. If your life currently feels like it is in a season of quiet waiting, let this image remind you that quiet is not the same as stagnant. Roots grow in darkness long before a single leaf appears above the soil. Whatever you cannot yet see taking shape in your life may simply be doing its root work, patiently, out of view. I trust the unseen growth happening in my life right now. I am patient with my own becoming. Let us also gently address something many people quietly carry, the comparison between their own timing and someone else's. It is easy, in a world so visible and so connected, to look at someone else's blooming season and wonder why yours has not yet arrived in the same way. But every garden blooms according to its own soil, its own light, its own season. A flower that blooms in spring is not luckier than one that blooms in late summer. It is simply following its own true timing. Your timing is not a mistake. It is not evidence of being forgotten. It is simply yours. I release comparison. My timing is my own, and it is unfolding exactly as it should. I trust the season I am in. As we near the end of this time together, let yourself take one more full, slow breath, and notice how different this breath feels from the very first one you took when this journey began. Something within you has settled. Something within you has softened. You may not be able to point to the exact moment it happened, and that is perfectly all right. The most important shifts rarely arrive with fanfare. They arrive quietly, the way morning arrives, not all at once, but gradually, until suddenly the whole sky has changed color, and you realize night has fully given way to day. I have already begun to change. My good is already on its way. I am safe, I am supported, and I am becoming the luckiest version of myself, one gentle, grateful breath at a time. Whatever you do next with your day, carry a small piece of this stillness with you. Let it live quietly beneath your thoughts, a steady undercurrent of trust that does not need to be loud to be real. You do not have to hold on to every word you have heard today. You only have to let the feeling remain, gently, in the background of your life, doing its slow, faithful work. And when you notice in the hours and days ahead a small, unexpected kindness, a moment of surprising ease, a door opening where you did not expect one, let yourself remember. This is not chance. This is not coincidence. This is simply what happens when a person, gently and consistently, chooses to expect good. Your life has been listening to you the entire time. From this moment forward, let it hear something new. I expect good things. I trust my life. I am safe. I am supported. And I am becoming the luckiest version of myself, one gentle, grateful breath at a time.